On this week's episode of Nerds Talking the Podcast, the nerds talk about thank you for your service. When does that expire? Do you ever stop telling people that? Or do they get it forever? Lafayette finally watches New Girl after Johnny and Carlos talk about it endlessly. Does he like it? Is he enjoying it? Find out. And is Netflix losing its shine? Are you finding something to watch? Is it harder to find something to watch? And we review the documentary Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of American gladiators on Netflix. And finally, Laura tells us all about her take on the Marvel Universe movies and her trolley problem. All that and more on this episode of Nerds Talking the Podcast. Now start the show.
Nerds Talking the Podcast.
Yo, we talk about lightsabers, stunning your TV screens, what you want to stream, everything beyond your dreams. Want to talk about movies, sports, or even politics? Go ahead and tune into us. We'll give you all of it. Whatever you're debating, Xbox or PlayStation, Marvel or DC, Mac or PC. Teraflops when the movie drops, gigabytes, chips, RAM, no matter what it is, we got all of it. Welcome to the show.
Nerds Talking the Podcast.
Welcome to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Carlos, Laura, Johnny. Thank you for your service. And I'm Lafayette. Welcome to a new episode. Before we start, I wanted to kind of bring this up here, Johnny. Johnny, when does thank you for your service expire? Do we have to keep doing it?
February 29th.
Sort of make sure. So if you were
You
born,
thank me for the rest of your life.
if you were born
you
for what
immigrant.
though? For what though? I mean, like specifically. Just give me like an example of why I would thank you for your service.
It's it's a hidden perk, right? Because like I signed up because some girl broke my heart and I wasn't doing so well in community college, so I needed to do that. But people thank me all the time because I was a dumbass kid. I don't know, for sacrificing
Your time, basically.
your time, and then I mean, my name was in the hat, right? My number wasn't called, but you know,
Let's
as
put it this
far
way.
as far as going to like Afghanistan or
Okay.
Iraq, but
Yeah.
His name was in there, so your name
Every-
didn't need to be
every-
called Lafayette.
Well, no, because I didn't sign up.
There was no draft.
I was doing okay in community
I know
college.
there, but if there weren't
Um,
enough in there, you better believe that there
I
probably
wouldn't
would have been a
actually-
draft.
I wouldn't be able to go to the army.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Illegal alien
Yeah. So there you go.
foreigner.
I'd have to join the Maple Leaf so the
you're
Canucks
taking our
or the
jobs.
Ottawa Senators. No, only because I was thinking about it today about the whole thank you for your service and does it expire in the sense of if a new kid joins and he gets out in 4 years from now, do I thank him for his service? And he literally hasn't done
I think so.
anything. It was his choice to sign up. Do I thank him for his service?
Right. So like if you're in the military from like
Mhm.
say, I don't know, 96 to 99 times
Yeah.
a piece.
That's what I
Uh,
mean. And you're kind of like, oh, you probably should have went to school, buddy.
Right.
Like,
You're
like,
just
do I ask that first? Hey, what did you serve in? What war? What was your time period? Oh, 2019, 2023. Oh, what'd you do? No, not much, really. Oh,
It doesn't matter. The fact that they're there is
Oh,
important.
I don't know. I
It
wanted to
is
throw
their
it out there.
service.
I mean,
No.
a World
I
War
had
II
a,
vet, maybe.
I had a
World War I
Vietnam vet who like basically called me out for my, because I mean I went to Bosnia, you know, I was shot at, but not like that everyday hellfire and shit like that. I feel like it
Not
might,
war.
yeah, it might have been a drunken dude who like accidentally shot
It
my
was
wife.
one of your,
Or
it
it
was
could
one
have
of
been
your
a tire
guys.
that it could have been a tire that popped. I'm not sure, but I counted it. Like once I heard it, I
That's
was
probably you. That's probably you.
once I heard it, I was like, "Dear diary, I almost died today."
Tell my beloved, I'll be going back to get those 12 units complete so I can get out of community college.
Yeah. So yeah,
12 units. You
this,
said 12 units.
it's only 2.
They're credits.
No,
not
they're
units.
I had to pay
Wasn't
per
this-
unit.
It's units. You pay per unit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Is that
way
how
it was.
community
Here.
college works?
Yeah,
Yep.
community college, you
Per
go, how many
unit.
units do I need to
Yeah,
graduate?
like
You need
all
82
4 years
units.
of it for me
Oh.
were like that. Like it was,
Yeah.
I
Wait,
think
you
it's
said
a
all 4
state
years?
difference because they're I went to community college. They were credits,
I
not
think
units.
that's what really happened. You got 2 years in going, you got 2 more years of this bullshit?
I think after 2 years they'll start doing units because it's like this guy's gonna be here for a while.
Man.
No, but the Vietnam vet like called me out. He's like, "Where did you go?" I was like, "I went to Bosnia." Well, that ain't shit. You weren't in the jungle. I'm like, "Get your old ass out of my face! Like, you're not gonna question my service. I'll punch you in the nuts."
Did he thank you for
He
your
was
service?
probably a supply guy in the back end anyway.
There's a high possibility of that, but like being Vietnamese and like this motherfucker, like I was there. I'm like, well, what'd you do? You kill my cousin?
your uncle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Do I thank the chef?
Yeah.
Okay.
On a
Yeah,
submarine.
Sure. I want to see how, like, where does it stop? The service stop.
Coast Guard for sure.
How about Space Force?
Space Force. You gotta thank them the most, man. If it wasn't for them, we'd be attacked by aliens already.
That is so true. That is so true.
They're keeping space safe.
I feel like they shouldn't get the same benefits as me. Like one percentage like higher on their interest rates or whatever.
How do you
Seconded it.
train for the space
Take a
Force?
vote in America. I think everyone would agree with you.
What was that,
Mm.
Carlos?
How do you train for the Space Force?
The
That's what I
Space
wanna know.
Force.
What are you
for
training for?
For the most part, I think they were taking people from the Air Force. So that's
It is, yeah.
initially what everyone was.
Okay, but that doesn't tell me what you're training for and how you train for it.
No. It's all top secret.
Do you get a
because they don't
lightsaber
know
and
either.
a phaser?
Listen. Donald Trump created Space Force just so he
did.
can say he created another branch of the military because he had no idea what to do. Then when he said we're gonna bring, like, he was talking about Reagan. Remember Reagan, Star Wars?
Yeah.
Oh
He
yeah.
was more or less like, oh, he did that, and I'm gonna do this, and this is even greater. I'm gonna protect space. Protect space. Holy shit! You need a big ass Space Force. So I
He's
will
like,
not
I'm
be
even
thanking him.
cooler. I'm just as cool as Reagan, guys.
Exactly.
I'm just as cool as
But
Reagan.
you know, he stole his slogan from Reagan.
From Reagan. Yeah.
Make
that was
America great again. That's
That
a
was
Reagan
Reagan's
thing.
slogan. Yeah. That was Reagan's
Yeah.
slogan.
He also
Yeah.
stole America First. That
Yeah, Yep.
that's from World War II. That's a campaign from World War II before we entered the war.
He also stole his current wife from a pimp. So and what other profession would you do that for besides military? Or are they the only ones that deserve it?
Law enforcement. Just
Okay.
all the jobs that I've happened to have.
Yeah, I
And,
noticed that. I noticed that.
Sandwich artist at Subway, Radio Shack, and
Jersey Mike's.
What about checkout clerk? Where were you? Bel Air.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. You were at Bel
No,
Air.
don't thank them for that. They're
No.
doing fine.
Okay.
They're doing
I'll make
fine.
sure. Yeah, that's like what's the next profession you would say?
No,
would thank them
I
for
mean,
their
like, you
service.
know, teachers are back there somewhere. You know,
Firefighters,
firefighters for sure, nurses,
Librarian.
nurses.
hot
No,
librarians,
not librarians.
not just regular
no,
librarians.
No librarians.
Why
Like,
not?
They had the dream job. That's why. That's a dream job. Sit around with a bunch
Quiet.
of books all day. That sounds amazing.
I know, just
So
talking
do
about
you
the Dewey
thank a
Decimal
nurse
System.
for her service, or that's just her job?
It's just her job.
Exactly. So
I mean-
you don't have to thank her for her service. For what?
For who? For what? A
A
librarian?
nurse.
The librarian.
nurse.
Yeah, but
No,
for the
nurse.
ones who care
Oh.
about their jobs, for the ones who have that good bedside manner or go above and beyond, or maybe like stay later to help a patient out or whatever.
Yeah, it's called overtime. They know what they're
100%. You think so?
doing.
No, you thank them. Yeah. I've had a
But if
lot
it's
of
just
really
your
good
job,
nurses.
Don't get me wrong.
Isn't a
You don't thank
soldier's
all of
job
them.
just his job?
You don't thank all of them.
Whose
What was
job?
that?
Isn't a soldier's job just his job?
It is just his job. Exactly. He signed up for that job. It's a job. He gets paid
Yeah,
for
but
it.
if he's really fucking good at it, and it's I mean,
And you
You
don't get
should
paid
res-
very well.
Should I
guys.
tip 'em?
You don't get paid very well
Should
at
I-
all.
Should I tip a soldier?
No,
'Cause
I know,
when
they
go
don't
to a
get paid well.
restaurant, It's
They
their
get paid
job,
shit.
and I feel like I have to tip them.
I feel like you're not a
You
good
do
tipper.
thank him. You know what?
I
though?
mean,
the thing is, you're
every time
thanking
we've
them-
gone out, I've
yeah.
paid. You know,
Uh-huh.
I've insisted to pay, and I'm a pretty
Uh-huh.
good tipper. But I feel
But
like
see, that's on
Carlos-
you, though.
you
Might
seem
not
like
be
you would be
good.
a good tipper, Johnny.
Yeah, just a tipper.
Now, is it a
And
rule though that
I
if
feel
you
like-
if you decide you want to pay, I should tip?
I think if we can make a deal, you know, like
No, I
I'll
believe that-
get this, and you get the tip.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
then
mean. Yeah,
You put out a
Yeah.
fucking Canadian dollar or some shit.
A
a
loony.
loony.
Yeah, throw a loony out there. Yeah.
A loony
Let's
and
put it
a
all in one
toonie.
place.
Yeah.
A loony and a toonie. I
Yeah.
found that out when I had my adventure in Canada.
Yeah, good
It
old
was like
loonies.
Oh, your Walmart search?
my Walmart search.
That's
Fucking
right.
$60 nicotine pills.
Walmart search. So like I said, that's just narrowing it down. Does it expire? Does thank you to your service expire based on that person's when he joins? If I'm 70 years old and there hasn't been a war my entire life since I was since there hasn't been a war since what 9/11, right? So Afghanistan. So let's say it's been 40 years. And this young kid just got out of serving his 4 years. So I thank him for his service. Because what is he
Yes.
doing at this point for me, honestly?
Because he's there in case you need him. That's why.
Yeah.
It's a lame ass excuse. That's a
No.
lame ass
Well, I
excuse.
feel like
A little gratitude goes a long way, Lafayette.
He should thank me. He should thank
For
me for
what?
keeping the peace and not starting wars.
Oh, uh-huh.
how are
right.
you keeping the peace?
You shut the fuck up.
Oh,
Boom.
that
just
is
attack
pretty good.
Vietnam.
That's pretty good. I mean, I feel like in America it doesn't expire, but if you're in other countries, like my cousin's husband, he's in like I think he's now in like the French Secret Service, but before that he was military. But they don't get the Veterans Day, July 4th, anything like that. They don't get a VA loan. I mean, like it's just a job. In Korea, all the males have to serve, I think, 2 or 3 years. Even the K-pop stars have to serve time.
You know that? I know that was the case in Israel. I didn't know that about Korea. That's interesting.
Yeah, Gal Gadot, thank her for
Gal
her
Gadot
service.
did it.
Oh, I will
Yeah.
thank her.
Always
for her
thank
service.
Gal Gadot.
Mhm.
Just for anything.
Didn't
She's so pretty.
Schwarzenegger, right? He had to serve in Austria Army, right?
Who?
Yeah, but he,
Schwarzenegger?
That's right.
according to the documentary, he didn't. He like got out early so he can.
He did
lift
get out early.
weights.
He left.
It-
Yeah, he's like,
He like
did, yeah.
I'm outta
he
here.
did a lot of like bad shit. He like stole a tank. He fucking left basic training to go to a competition and
Lift weights.
lift weights.
Anything, just say lift weights afterwards.
Yeah.
Because that's what he did. Went to just lift weights. All right, well there you go. Well, thank you for your service. Last time I say that to you, motherfucker.
You're welcome.
Yeah, no problem.
let me think Elvis.
That's right. Elvis also drafted into the army. That's right, where he met Priscilla when she
Drafted.
was 14.
Different
So-
times.
That's right.
Sex
We
offender
should,
website.
we should cancel him.
Yeah, he should be on the Memphis one.
Yeah. Different times, man.
Neverland and Graceland, same fucking thing.
Whoa. Okay, maybe. And then okay,
Real quick, speaking of Elvis,
Here we go.
his stepbrother, which I didn't know he had a stepbrother because I didn't know his dad had remarried while he was still alive. But according to his stepbrother, Elvis committed suicide because because he dated young women. He liked his teenagers. And so he decided to kill himself instead of it coming out. Now I call bullshit on that.
Yeah,
That's
I don't
kind of
buy
weird
that.
because he was dating
Who's-
like a hot blonde at the time.
Well, not only that, who's going to choose to commit suicide and die in the toilet?
That is
Yeah,
the best
I
way to
don't buy
die.
That's
that.
like the
suicide.
last thing people think of you. You die on the toilet.
And
It's like,
also,
no,
again,
thank you.
teenagers in the 70s were pretty fair game. You know,
boom. Wait a
but
second.
I'm not saying it was right
Johnny,
or wrong. I'm saying
Get on
it was what it
Craigslist. Find us a
was.
DeLorean.
I'm at 87 miles.
I like
Are you
how
sure,
the-
man? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Punch it! Punch it!
It's
I like how he was
8
in the
miles an
kitchen
hour.
and just Joey Chestnut his ass until he decided, oh fuck, I'm gonna choke, and went to the bathroom to try to get it out. He's like, fuck it, this is the end. No more 15-year-olds. Like, what the fuck? I believe him.
Huh. I'm gonna have to question the stepbrother's resume on
I
that
saw
one.
the movie. They didn't
Agreed.
mention this. What the hell? It's
A
hilarious.
box full of condoms. Better hit that shit to 89.
Go. Oh, fucking Elvis.
Wah, wah.
His brother's great. That's all I know. Whoever this guy
His brother is.
is. Gary Presley. Fantastic. Another note. I did start watching New Girl.
How many
And,
episodes are you in?
I'm only one season in so far.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
It picks
one
up.
season
I
in.
promise it picks up.
no. Season
yeah,
one
it
is
reminds
good.
me
Season
reminds
one
me a
is good.
little bit of Seinfeld, where there's really not. It's not about much. It's not really too much going on. It's funny, but there's not really much going on. Besides, what's the guy? What's the roommate that he's kind of conceited? What's his name? Oh, I forget his
Schmidt.
name. Schmidt, and he's dating the hot model.
Mm-hmm.
That's So that was like the highlight, I guess, of the first season. I guess it's funny. It's just, does it get better? That's all I need to know. Does it get better?
It's all 7 seasons, man.
I can't believe. First of all, why is season 7 only 8 episodes?
I think it was the writer's strike.
Got it. And then another thing, the guy that the Wayne's Jr. that left to go to another show.
Oh, yeah,
what an idiot! What? But you
Was
can
that, I
tell
don't know if the other
first-
show was any good. Johnny, you said the show
No,
was
it got
funny.
canceled.
No, happy
Oh,
endings.
Happy endings. Yeah.
Happy ending.
I mean, it was good. I really liked happy endings. They cut it short, but I think he had like gotten a contract
He did.
for New Girl, and then like they weren't sure if happy endings was coming back, and then when it did come back, then he left and Winston came in. And that dude Winston, I think he said he auditioned like 13 times or some crazy bullshit.
But
He's
you
funny.
could tell in the
Yeah,
first
he's funny.
episode, it's a straight pilot.
Yeah.
Like there was no real intro, but the show's good so far. We'll see if it holds up to you two hyping the shit out of it. God
Oh, I
damn it.
think one of the funniest episodes is when Schmidt is telling, oh man, Cece, or he's he's saying goodbye to Cece's boobs because she's
All his
they have
hand
names
gestures.
too.
so out
They have,
loud.
what's the names? I forgot their names. Oh, Harold and Kumar.
Yeah.
Harold and Kumar. That's right. That's right. I like when
Oh, it's
one of the
hilarious.
episodes where she's about to leave. Maybe that I don't think it's that episode you're talking about.
No, it's
Maybe.
like in season 5 or 6.
Oh, where she's like ready to leave, and then he's like, "Just show me one more time." Oh, Harold, I'll see you later, Kumar. And he's like super like, I'm like, at first I was like, what? Oh, I was like, okay, got it. But it's a good show. There's nothing bad about it. It's funny. Yep, started watching New Girl and had to see what all the hype was about from you two, since you guys have watched it. How many times did you watch it, Johnny?
I would say at least 5 or 6 now.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
I'm only on my
Really?
second time around.
Good Lord, after one time, I'll be done.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm paying attention the whole time or whatever. I could be on
Because
my
you already
phone.
know what's coming.
I do, and then I pay attention to like the really funny parts, like Nick buying Schmidt a cookie. Do you remember that? He's, I got your cookie, get your cookie. I got your cookie, give me cookies.
I like that game they made up, the U.S. presidents or something like that.
Oh, True American.
True American, yeah.
Yeah, there's like no rules and
No,
like
they just make it
tons
up
of
as they
rules,
go.
but the floor is lava.
Oh, at the end. So if you want to check out New Girl, it is on Hulu. I don't think it is in syndication anywhere. I don't
It's
think
on
it's that type of
2
show.
streaming services. I think it's Hulu and
It's not
Peacock?
Netflix. I know that.
not Netflix. It left.
I'm pretty sure it's
Netflix.
Peacock.
Maybe Peacock. Yeah.
Okay. I'm watching it on Hulu. So check out New Girl. If you haven't seen it, it's not bad at all. But you know what's funny? Zoe Deschanel hasn't not done much since New Girl.
He has something on Netflix. I don't
She
remember the name of
does.
it, but she's got a show on Netflix. It's like a competition type show or something like that.
Oh, okay. She really hasn't done too much since New Girl. I mean, does she have to? 7 seasons. She made some bank. So
Yeah, she did
So,
okay. She made up for how much I hated her on 500 Days of Summer.
Oh.
oh, Elf.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
did
right.
remake for it in that.
nah, she was all right. I mean, Will Ferrell was the star on that
I
one.
almost said Will Smith.
I almost did. So
I'll
you
slap the
almost
shit
slapped
out of
me.
you. I'll slap
almost
the
did.
shit out of you.
And then she also made up for a fucking M. Night Shyamalan movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Oh,
my
The
God.
Happening.
The
Yes.
Happening, where the wind.
The
or
wind is gonna
the
take over, you
trees or
stupid
some
bastard.
The trees and the wind.
Tell you,
and
when the wind does take over, I'll be thanking him for his service. And lastly, here,
Hey,
go ahead.
they do have Arbor Day.
Well, the only one that
We have
doesn't
Arbor
have
Day,
that hasn't done anything is Cece. I haven't seen her in anything. She
She's-
was the Greatest
she's in-
American Hero remake, but that never
Oh,
took
that never
off.
came out. Yeah.
that never came out.
She's in this thing with America Ferrera, I think.
Oh,
Where it's like she's a columnist writing in the obituary section. Or something
Oh
like
yes,
that, and
that's on
ghosts come back.
CBS. Yes.
oh,
yes,
is it
yes.
okay?
It's on CBS, and yeah. It's right after the show Ghosted or whatever on CBS also.
Sounds like a shit show.
Oh well, Ghosted is a remake of a very popular show from UK. The other one, I don't know. The one about the column. I think it's original. So, all right. And lastly, Netflix losing its shine. Have you guys been watching a lot of Netflix lately? Anything that's really making you gravitate towards Netflix?
No,
because The Witcher 3 season 3
The Witcher
came
is
out,
weak as shit,
and it is horrible. And Netflix is promoting the shit out of it. Promoting the shit out of Henry Cavill, and I tried watching it this season. I'm like, I think I'm done with this. I think I'm done.
I felt that way during season 2.
Yeah, it's always
production is crap. I don't know if it's the
cheap.
editing. Or...
No, it's always felt cheap.
It does. It feels cheap. Yeah. And then, like in one scene, I'm like, oh, really? I think it's time to stop watching. Those two, they're sitting by the fire and they're debating who's gonna seduce the redhead, the king's brother, who's looking for the elf girl now. Anyway, they say, let's play Boulder Parchment Dagger. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Boulder Parchment. That's a good one.
I'm like, oh man.
I would have just been like, hey, bro.
I'm like, are the writers on strike?
You won, bro.
This shit.
So there you go. So yeah,
he bested me again.
So but Laura said she is watching Netflix right now. What are you watching?
Catching Killers.
Oh, I did watch a couple of those. I watched the one about the Zodiac in New York.
I'm in the middle of that one right now.
Yeah, and that's
this
good
podcast
one.
ever so rudely interrupted my watch.
Yes. And that's a good show. That's a good show.
I like the documentaries. That's why I go to Netflix, is like, these oddball kind of documentaries that pop up that are interesting. But their regular shows, they're inconsistent with their releases. Like, what was that Paul Rudd show? It's like New You.
No, it was about I forgot. I know what you're talking about. I don't think there's a season
where there's
two
like a
coming,
clone. Is that
yeah.
I know that was a really interesting show. I really enjoyed it. Was there a
Netflix.
second season? No.
Netflix will do that to you. Netflix will.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Check
so
out
I've
this
learned
show with Tom Cruise, and then it's done. Like, oh.
Exactly. So that's what I've learned is don't get invested because nothing's going to be long term.
No, not with Netflix. No.
And I Santa Clarita Diet. Fucking love that show. 3 seasons,
yes.
3 solid seasons. Ended on a cliffhanger. Done. And so I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to get invested in any of your shows. So it's if things that are completely out or it's a documentary series, I'll watch it. But otherwise, nah.
Yeah, there's another show that they picked up from NBC that NBC canceled about the plane. You guys remember that show? It's about the plane that disappeared. Yeah.
Oh my 1600, the 1200, or something like that.
No,
Manifest.
Manifest.
And people watched the shit out of it during COVID. They just it blew up on Netflix. It was number 1 for 2 months straight. So they're like, we'll finish it. NBC doesn't want it. Now nobody watches the final season they're doing. It's just dead. Because it took forever to come out. 3 years
because they kill
after.
Things. Yeah.
Like COVID.
It's where things go to die.
That's right. Thank you for your service. So there you go. And that actually leads us to our next segment. When we come back, we'll be talking about Muscles and Mayhem, the unauthorized story of American gladiators, now on Netflix. Right after the break.
You ever wonder where to get cheap gizmos and gadgets and electronics? You want to know how to get things real cheap? Listen to my podcast, Boosted It. We got Nintendos, Xbox, computers. You need television sets, the ones with the tubes.
No one wants to listen to your show, Tony. It's really stupid. I mean, you know nothing about electronics and,
The show would be better if you weren't here, but I had to bring you here because I'm married to your mother, and she wants you not to be hanging around all those hooligans out there. Now shut up, I'm trying to promote my show.
You don't even know what a smartphone is. I mean, you're an idiot.
It does. You know what? You know nothing.
Smartwatch, huh?
A what?
Smartwatch, on your wrist.
Watches aren't smart, they just tell you time. The smart one is reading the watch, me, knowing the time.
Idiot, that's what you are.
What are you talking about?
You're stupid, you know nothing. Get out of here.
You need to just sit over there. I bought you a soda pop. Didn't I get you some candy or something?
Shut up, yeah.
Shut up.
Oh,
anyway, the show's called Boosted It. That's not
it.
what you think. But it's a great show for kids.
It's a criminal.
And,
He's a loser and a criminal.
What is it now?
You heard me. I
swear to God. Your mother.
What about my mother?
God bless her soul.
She's not even dead. What are you talking about?
I know she's not dead. Sometimes I wish she was dead.
I mean, what?
Anyway.
I'm going to tell my mom.
Oh, you're going to tell your mother that,
I'm
huh?
going to tell my mom you said that.
Nobody likes you anyway.
Everybody likes me. My mom
Not
likes
even your
me.
father.
Huh?
That's why he left you.
What? My father died in an accident, you son of a bitch.
Well, he left you. Anyway, he wanted to leave. He left. So
What?
why you... That doesn't matter.
That's not right.
The show's called Boosted It. This kid's a punk. You want to know about gizmos, gadgets, who's
He
and
knows
what's?
nothing.
Listen to it anyway. It's on every platform. Anything you want to do's.
No.
You can even buy it at Radio Shack.
Radio Shack doesn't exist. That's why you're an idiot.
What do you mean Radio Shack doesn't exist?
You're stupid.
You know what doesn't exist?
What? Tell me, huh?
Your father. Ha ha. Gotcha, punk.
And now back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm with Johnny. Thank you for your service. Carlos, Laura, and I'm Lafayette. Remember to rate, subscribe, review, download, turn on notifications. Tell your friends every Friday new episodes of Nerds Talking the Podcast. We all watch American Gladiators, right?
Lafayette, real quick, Lafayette.
Yeah.
Can you ask me a question?
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you the choice.
Any question?
No. Ask
kind of
me.
question?
Ask me who won the other day between me and Carlos.
Who won what though? Because I don't know if we're talking about.
It was a
sword
game
crossing.
of horse.
Oh man,
This is round 2.
Okay, round 2. If you guys remember from months ago, Johnny beat Carlos in horse. What happened in round 2 of Carlos versus Johnny? Thank you.
I lost.
service.
I came
Okay,
in
there
hot,
we go.
super hot. But then when the
over.
game started, couldn't hit anything. That was it.
Carlos could
Good
have hit a
story.
jump shot 6 inches from the hoop on a step stool. So why would you bother?
Why would I take a jump shot on a step stool? That's dangerous. That is super dangerous. You can turn an ankle.
Yeah, don't jump off that step stool.
Now,
You can just dunk it.
I'll give Carlos this. He did offer to play one-on-one first, and I was like, "Oh no, like I can't do that right now."
He would have had a heart attack. I definitely would have won that.
Yeah.
Shit.
Because when you run for or you miss a shot and the rebound goes far out and take a jog for it. Well, I took a jog for it, and like my knees were like, no, we don't do that anymore. And I was like, oh shit, like so I did like power walk to the ball.
You know what's funny? You guys would have played a 1-on-1. The first break, the ball bounces like 40 feet away. You guys both look at each other. A tie game? Tie
You
game.
good? You
All
good?
right. We're good.
Over.
We're good.
Then you're yelling at the kid. He's only 6 feet away. Little help. Little help.
But you know, the first
You
guy
know
that
what?
walks off
Keep the ball,
court, the
kid.
other guy
Keep
runs
the
for the ball
Just
and,
keep
like puts a basket in. All right, so Muscles and Mayhem, the story of the American Gladiators. So who watched American Gladiators growing up?
I did.
Oh,
We all did,
100%.
Yeah, we all did. And they did a full documentary, which was fantastic, about the American Gladiators. Who stuck out the most when you were watching it as a kid?
Nitro.
Well, you say Siren and Nitro and Laura. Do you remember like who stuck out the most after watching the documentary? Like, oh man, I remember that. Yeah, that guy stuck out the most.
There are people who stuck out the most to me watching the documentary, but from when I was a kid, honestly, they were all kind of faceless. They were all gladiators to me, anyway.
Yeah, Nitro always stuck out the most to me. He always had that. Maybe because that half Asian look. I don't know, but he always stuck out the most.
But the one that I always knew was the worst gladiator was Malibu. I mean, this guy's gonna get jacked.
Well,
I mean, I was just a
They
little
only
kid, but even I
lasted
knew
8
he was
episodes.
the worst Malibu. He was the worst.
yeah, the horse face. What do you want? Good Lord. So we'll jump into it. It's on Netflix now. I think it's still the number 1 or 2 show on Netflix at the moment. Muscles and Mayhem. We'll start with Laura. Laura, did you enjoy it? What would you take? And your final thoughts?
I really enjoyed it. I was not a huge American Gladiator fan growing up. I did watch it. You know, I was a part of America in that time frame. But honestly, I've watched it more in the last like 5 years than I ever did growing up. My husband loves American Gladiators. He grew up very much so watching the show all the time. And Pluto, for a while, Pluto TV had a dedicated channel for American Gladiator. They don't anymore, but they did.
That's
and my
interesting.
husband would watch it almost every single day at lunchtime. And so I would watch it with him. So it was really fun to watch the documentary and put, you know, kind of a humanity into these people that you never really considered before. I would say I would definitely knock it. The documentary, I feel like it was an episode too long. They definitely repeated some stuff, which I was like, how did you miss this in editing? You came back and just like said the same things. So that was a big knock. but it was super interesting. I was very engaged about, who these people were, where they came from, what the production looked like and its evolution, and how shitty they were treated by the studios, and basically disposable. I really felt for them. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to give it, I would give it 4, but I'm going to knock a half star off for the editing. So 3.5.
Oh, interesting. Carlos, Muscles Mayhem, Netflix, go.
Well, I enjoyed it, and it really brought back a lot of memories from watching American Gladiators as a kid, and just seeing, behind the scenes and just letting you know everything that was going on. It made you feel, well, when I was watching it for the gladiators. I was watching for them to beat up on these regulars, right? But when you hear about behind the scenes, how the way they were treated, like I know why it's called the unauthorized, because I'm sure Samuel Goldwyn didn't want this done because, well, basically he's a piece of shit. But he's just a regular Hollywood dude. I mean, they're all like that, right? Even the producer on the show, I can't remember her name, but she said, well, they signed a contract. She didn't give a shit. Even when she said it, she's like,
yeah, she's like, I felt bad for him, but
right.
You signed what you signed. It's like,
right. She said, they signed the contract almost like, can you pass the chips? Like,
they got
shit.
Right? They got $500 an episode.
Right.
They
and
did.
They made
They
more
got
money on
fucked.
the tour. On the tour, they made $5,000 a week. I'm like, well, let me stay on tour then.
Well, they were getting
that I
their
thought was
asses kicked on
even-
tour, though.
Well, it's true.
The one that I thought was
no
even
breaks.
worse than her was that, like, they just said executive Ian Clark, who was like, we didn't make that much money off of merchandising. And I was like, fuck
That's
off.
bullshit.
I know.
Fuck,
That's total bullshit.
Yeah. Fuck
That's
him.
what everybody looks for, is the
Fuck
merchandising, right? So yeah, if they would have given him a piece of the pie for merchandising, I'm sure they would have been much happier. But when I was watching it, I kept thinking, this is the godfather of it all. I mean, American Ninja Warrior, right? I just think of all these shows now. Wipeout was a bit of a stretch when Nitro said that Wipeout was, the thing, but definitely American Ninja Warrior. They add more obstacles, and then that's what they have to do. That's what they were doing in the American Gladiator. My favorite one was always the one where they switched the Eliminator to the one where they're crawling on the ceiling. That was always my favorite. But just watching the show, I was just surprised that it couldn't get more gladiators on there to talk about it. But then again, I don't know where they are. They may not even be available. But yeah, it was a good show. But I agree, it was one episode too long. Like the final episode, what really got to me was Laser and the story of him and his dad. Man, that was so heartfelt. It was incredible. Just the thought that he
remind me again.
Well, he thought his dad wasn't proud of him. He thought his dad didn't love him. That's what he kept saying throughout the whole show.
Oh.
But then at the end, he flew his dad out to California because he could afford to bring him out to California or something like that. And then his dad told him, no, I loved you this whole time. And I knew you were trying to get my attention from all the stuff that you were doing. But it was pretty heartwarming. And then even Nitro, I mean, but the one thing I didn't believe was when that producer, what was his name? Ian Clark?
Ian Clark, I believe.
When
Don't quote me on that.
I think it was the same guy. I think it's the same guy who said he walked into the locker room and there's like syringes everywhere. I mean, I call bullshit on that, because anybody who uses, and not to say I know everybody that uses, but these guys just don't look like they're a bunch of idiots who are going to start just use a needle and throw it on the floor. If they're using steroids, I'm sure they're going to use it and chuck it in the trash. You're not just going to leave the shit laying around. It's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Because even if I was in
that
locker room and I wasn't a user, or even if I was, I'm like, man, I gotta clean this shit up. I'll just leave it laying around.
I don't know. I don't know about just the way they talk about the party bus, for example. Like, I'm sure like they shot up on the party bus, right? And I'm sure there were syringes around on the party
100%.
bus. I'm pretty sure they also like partied in the locker room from time to time.
Oh,
so,
yeah. I mean, the video from the locker room.
It's not that unbelievable to me.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Dick Askin. That's much better.
Okay.
I don't know where I
some poor
Ian
bastard
Clark
named Ian.
And Ian Clark is getting fucking blasted
Dick
right now by his
Askin.
wife. What
Yeah,
is
Dick is asking.
What is Dick asking? That's what I was wondering. What is this Dick asking?
Where's my
about?
merchandising money?
Hey,
That's what he's asking.
Who laid all these needles around here? Dick's asking. Who's asking? Ian Clark. Then he runs out the room.
I don't know where the fuck I came up with that. I'm sorry.
Just like all the gladiators' alter egos. Like, there's Nitro Zap. I'm Ian Clark.
I'd be the gladiator that, like, what's your name to be? Gladiator? What do you think? Like, what a dick. Anyway, Carlos, what was your final take?
I give it a 3.5 because of the
All
length.
right.
It was one episode too
Johnny.
long.
It was a lot of fun to watch, and I remember watching and being so intimidated by like the glad. I mean, obviously the dudes because they're jacked, but the women were way more jacked than I was at the time, and they were pretty. For the most part, there were a couple like gladiators that were like, yeah, and me being a lesbian, like, yeah, I know, like you didn't have to come out. I knew.
Zap was not pretty then and not pretty now.
Ice was
Sorry,
the
Zap.
surprise.
Ice was gorgeous. She was gorgeous then. She's gorgeous now.
Zap
Is
beautiful.
Ice a
Whoa,
lesbian?
The
Yes,
lesbian with the
yeah.
short blonde hair.
For sure.
One that's in it most.
I feel like she looks better now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah.
What
she looked good,
the
too. I think
who's
the
the other
hair was-
blonde? Who?
The other
Zap.
blonde that was the other one that was really good looking. She
Lace.
wasn't in the documentary.
Lace.
She was like,
Oh,
I'm a
she was
fan
like
of
almost
Lace.
like a model. She was kind
Yeah.
of thick. Yeah.
Lace is
Diamond.
hot.
Are you talking about
No,
Diamond?
not
Because she
Diamond.
was there.
Let me say
She
it
looked
again.
great,
Lace.
older. Austin,
Lace, yeah.
my
No, it's
husband,
Lace. Yeah.
was a fan of Lace and Siren. Those were the two that he liked.
Well, Siren, she was not only gorgeous, she was deaf. Well, so her name was, a little bit of a oxymoron.
Oh, that's fun.
Anyway,
Interesting.
Anyways, it was fun. I mean, I remember watching, just having fun. Like one of my favorite events was the pyramid one where they just threw people down. I thought that was always fun to watch. And then the obstacle course thing where they shot the tennis balls at people. Man, I love that shit. Did you guys ever watch the remake when Hulk Hogan and Layla Ali like hosted?
Yes.
was that any
Yes.
good?
No.
I remember it, but I never
When they're
watched
the
it.
host, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like the competitor, like if they, after they won, like they had a chance to come back as a gladiator, and like there was a real skinny kid who was just hella fast, and like nobody could beat him up the wall. So he could always catch somebody, or he can always beat the gladiators, one or the other.
Cheating.
I mean, it was entertaining, but actually, you know what? I feel like one of the American gladiators was on Ninja Warrior as well. Like he was a pretty solid competitor. He's like a blonde kid. Yeah, but I had a lot of fun. I mean, I just feel bad for those guys because they were rock stars who were like getting paid peanuts. I don't know. They said they get some sort of royalties or whatever, but yeah, they didn't get any of the merchandising. They didn't. I mean, if they got injured, they were fucked, and completely replaceable. Like, the stars of the show, they were like, we want a piece of the pie. They're like, all right, well, you're not coming to work today, and yeah, I felt really bad for them. But I do remember just loving that show, just loving the mayhem of it, and loving the sports competition of it. I don't know, what were you in junior high, early high school when all that stuff came out? But yeah, overall the documentary, it was good. I mean, executives in general, I'm like, I don't hear any good stories about them, where they sacrifice their salary for the good of the cast or whatever. They all seem like fucking dirtballs to me. I just feel bad for the talent, because they sacrifice their bodies. I mean, they were saying it's worse than like football, because football you get a week off of that terror. Like with one of the chicks, she said she was like jousting like 6, 7, 8 people in a row, and like by the end of it, you're just getting your ass whooped. Yeah. Felt really bad for him, but documentary I thought was pretty good. Laura, you're right as far as the editing, because I remember, I think it was episode 2, like at the end, Nitro was like, I had roids and I had a gun, and then it cuts to like the 3rd episode, and then that doesn't come back until the very end. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck, man? I've been waiting this whole time for a good story, but dicks. And the story wasn't even that good. He was just like, oh, I got a kid. All right, get out of here. I was just that was he kept me waiting for nothing basically.
So what's your what? Oh, shit, you haven't finished it. But what's your rating so far?
So far, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4, but it could change in the next half hour.
Not bad though. Yeah, it was very, very interesting. It was very good because we all watched it. We loved it as a kid. Just absolutely loved American Gladiators, and you'd watch it all the damn time. It was in syndication, yada yada yada. And you're right. You feel bad for them. The worst part was what you guys already said. They mentioned too much about them not getting their pay. After season 3 or 4, like 2 dedicated episodes for it. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. We didn't get it. I was like, one episode's good for this. Even at the very end, the last episode is all about that again. You're like, we get it. You got screwed. We understand. But I give it a 4. It was very entertaining. It was very interesting. It's good to hear about everyone that was part of the show. And the guy who created the show, Johnny Ferrero, guy looks like Elvis. The reason why this is called the unauthorized documentary is because the real documentary is on ESPN 30 for 30 if you want to watch it.
Have you seen that one?
I haven't seen it, but it's by Johnny Ferrero.
But it's a multi-part.
Just two parts.
Oh, okay.
Just two parts.
That guy seems like a creepo. Don't know that I'm interested in hearing his version.
Dude, there was that one producer or whatever who was like
Bob Levy. It was the director. Super creep.
Yeah.
That dude.
His like collection of porn, and then he would have porn parties and like.
Nope.
I dated this chick. She's like, what?
Yeah. Exactly.
We were in the same room having lunch. That's not a date.
Who's worse, him or Ian Clark?
Oh, Ian Clark is such a piece of shit.
Ian Clark, he's a piece of shit.
Dick Askin is his name. Dick Askin. And Dick Askin is not as bad as creepo perv Bob Levy. That's my official story.
He was eating chips his whole interview.
Yeah.
And
Creep.
I had read something that Nitro said. He had mentioned something about the 30 for 30. He said that the one on Netflix is pure nostalgia, positive fun, but the 30 for 30 is like a depressing documentary. He obviously enjoyed the Netflix one more.
Yeah, no, the Netflix one is good. It does show the glamour side of what they were doing and so forth. It's again pretty good.
It was interesting to me. It's like the bodybuilder mentality. I mean, it's always been very much so a big mystery to me. My brother was I don't know, bodybuilder, and that whole mentality of like, clean eating, and I got to eat every 3 to 4 hours, and like protein and brown rice and broccoli and and then also I'm doing so many fucking drugs and drinking myself blackout drunk every night. It's like, which is it? Is your body a temple, or are you
from 9 to 5 it's a temple.
Temple on Sundays.
Exactly,
what it is a good fucking time, man. That's what it is. The next time I see an American Gladiator, thank you for your service.
100%.
Thank you.
100%.
Put them on the list.
Unfortunately, they don't get the good benefits like I do.
Yeah.
I did really enjoy Nitro. Like, as when I first started, I'm like, this guy's kind of an idiot, which I mean, he kind of is. But he grew on me because of his just like honesty. Like everyone else was like, oh, I wasn't doing steroids. Maybe some growth hormone or testosterone. He's like, we were all doing the fucking steroids. And I was like, I appreciate your honesty. And like his story about his brother and about being taken away from his mom, which I'm sure had to do with her like heritage. She was probably, not a naturalized citizen, and they, said, fuck you, you're going to go to the dad. And that was just a sad story. And I don't know, I really felt for the guy and talking about how he got therapy. And I'm like, good for you, Nitro. Good for you. You grew on me.
Well, there we go. So is it 3.5 or 4 now?
It's 3.5. It's just for the editing purposes.
I tried Nitro. I really did.
No, I mean, like this documentary compared to like say the An1 documentary, I don't really feel for the An1 guys. I mean, yeah, it's too bad that you didn't get a bigger piece of the pie, but those guys, their egos just took over, and they were such like hot sauce.
They did
was
well.
Such a fucking
they did
diva.
well though.
I mean, not really. Like the
Compared to
professor still has to like go to.
Well,
he makes his money on
that's sad,
YouTube
bro.
now, and like
I'm paying his
he has-
beach every day.
yeah.
That was the other thing. The other like mind-blowing thing. One of the girls at the end, which one was it? Who has an OnlyFans? That
Oh,
With
does
her
there's,
feet, about her feet.
yeah.
with the feet.
Yeah.
I was like, you go, girl.
Foot
You just
fetish.
do whatever you need to do. You want to crush tennis balls with your feet and get paid? You go.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Crazy.
All these documentaries that I've been watching where, the actor or the talent gets screwed over makes me realize one thing. If you ever get into Hollywood, save your money. If you're going to party, let your buddy pick up the tab because you never know what's going to end and you could just be left in the alley like all these other people are.
That's why
100%.
John pays all the time. Carlos is
Savings.
like, fucking Hollywood over here.
Savings.
Wait a second. Is that why I'm paying for
You're
dinner?
finally catching on, Johnny.
Hey, man, I don't know when this riot is going to end, man.
When you roll with these Hollywood elite, Johnny, that's what happens. They take you for a
This
ride.
podcast can't go on forever.
Like Ian Clark once said, steroids in the locker room. Steroids in the locker room.
I gotta look him up now. I gotta look up Ian Clark. There's gotta be a famous.
He's a
Dick
lawyer.
Askin.
What? What is he doing?
He's just
It's
asking.
fake news. He's just asking.
You just
Dick's just asking.
Heard what? For Dick. We'll take a break here on Nerds Talking the Podcast. We'll be right back after this.
Do you like money? Have you thought about investing in cryptocurrency? Do you see a future where your 401k is worth more than you imagine? Then tune into the podcast Fat Rich Pigs. That's right. Do you want to be a fat rich pig? Or just a fat guy that buys pigs and flips them on the market and gets all the bacon, if you know what I mean? Fat Rich Pigs. That's stuff for you. Listen, it's a good show. I have satisfied customers all over the place, from Fat Guy Loves Cake to the Nerds Talking Podcast fellas. They're all filthy rich because of me, because of my podcast. Fat Rich Pig is one of our customers telling you how they got rich because of the show. I heard this guy on Nerds Talking the Podcast and I thought, hey, why not give it a shot? And now look at me. I got a lot of Dogecoin. I got so much I don't know what to do with it. So hey, Nerds Talking the Podcast. And there you go. A satisfied customer for my podcast and Nerds Talking the Podcast every Friday. Now back to the show. Fat Rich Pigs.
Welcome back to Nerds Talking the Podcast. I'm here with Laura, Carlos, Johnny. Thank you for your service. And I'm Lafayette. Now we jump into Laura's rant. You've been waiting all show for this. This is what you should subscribe for, tell your friends about. Laura, what is your rant about?
It's not really a rant because like my rants are just like when I go off and I'm like not looking for feedback. This is Laura's segment this time. So
Okay.
I have been doing a Marvel rewatch. I started, an Iron Man. I'm making my way into all of the most recent movies, and a couple of things stuck out to me.
Real
is that
quick,
number
though,
one,
where did you get
Mhm.
your order of movies at?
the
Funny because
order,
when you go to
yeah.
Disney Plus, they have them in order.
like
you-
release order,
No, in the chronological order. So that's why I was asking you where you got your list at, because I was kind of surprised to see what number 2 was on Disney Plus's list. That's why.
What was number
So Iron Man,
No.
No?
Iron Man's number 1 on their list.
no,
Yeah, I
Captain
know.
America should be number
No, no,
one
no,
in
no. What?
chronological.
Whoa! No,
Oh, no, they
I'm
do
sorry,
have-
Captain America should be number one.
Incredible Hulk should be number one.
Actually,
Oh,
no, wrong
Incredible
again.
Hulk.
According
No.
to
Oh.
Disney Plus, Incredible Hulk's number 2.
No.
Because you want to know why? Because Iron Man
Yes.
already exists.
Oh, he's at the end. Yeah,
in Incredible
Iron Man
Hulk
should be number
That's
one.
why.
Yeah.
And
Incredible
now
Hulk
the reason
number
that
2.
Captain America is not number 1 because Captain America's story ends in present time. That's what's after. Anyway, Laura, go.
okay. I get my order from whatever order my husband put them in the collection within Plex. That's where I get my order.
Okay.
And it started with Captain America. And I've been rewatching and struck by a couple things. Is that number one, it was so much better back in the day. And I'm like, is it because like when it first came out? And is that because I'm now old and jaded, or because it was actually better? Who's to say? I honestly don't know. But the first, couple phases, like up until Infinity War, I'm just, an Endgame, 100% into it. And after that, I'm just like, rah, rah, rah. But what I did want to talk about was the Spider-Man, the No Way Home. And it's a great movie and I really enjoy it. And I love, the different Spider-Mans appearing. But I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, Peter was kind of a fucking idiot in No Way Home because he wanted to save a bunch of these supervillains that didn't belong in his universe in the first place. And I know that May wanted to save them, but in the end, May died because of that. And in my opinion, you just kind of fucked with the natural of order of things. You should have put them back exactly as you found them and not fucked around with it. And it just got thinking for me into this kind of theme because I think some of the other newer Marvel movies had the same thing. In Quantumanium, Ant-Man's daughter, I don't remember her name. And she's all like, oh, we got to help these quantum realm with their problems and their struggle. And I'm just like, am I cold-hearted or what? Because I'm just like, no, I don't. I'm just a visitor here. This is your world. And I am accomplishing a mission. I'm trying to, I don't even remember what it was in Quantumanium, but whatever the mission was, like, your fight is not my fight. And it's this whole thing where I feel like they're trying to, I don't know, put this like moral duty upon people to interfere on things that aren't their problem. So Spider-Man has to interfere and cure all these villains from their other multiverse. And I don't know, but what it made me think of is the trolley problem. Are you guys familiar with the trolley problem?
We are now.
Explain it.
Yep, we are
Okay.
now.
So the trolley problem is a ethics experiment, and that a trolley is going along its tracks. And it's off course, or it's a runaway trolley. It's gonna careen no matter what. There's one person in front of you on the track, but you, as an innocent bystander, can pull a lever and switch. Or no, I'm sorry. There's 5 people in front of you. That's the original. There's 5 people in front of the tracks that are getting run over by the trolley. You, as an innocent bystander, can pull the lever and divert the trolley to a side track that has only one person on it. And you are the only one that can save these individuals and do like a quote greater good thing and divert it. And I've done a lot of these. There's a fun website, Absurd Trolley Problems, that you can go in and kind of experiment and click in, and like it gives you a bunch of different scenarios. And what I've found that by default, my preference is just to not intervene. It's like hands off. Like, let nature take its course unless I am otherwise morally compelled to do something else. And so I just wanted to get your thoughts on Spider-Man, on Ant-Man, all this kind of stuff of like, when is it your duty to intervene? And if you played around with any of those absurd trolley problems that I sent you guys, what are your thoughts?
If we're basing it on just that movie, Spider-Man, you're not wrong. I think the whole idea of him being obsessed with his friends not being able to get into college because who he is and da-da-da-da-da. Go to another school. You know what? Try another one.
Yeah, but that's like the myopia of like, being a teenager. You're stupid. You don't know any better. But yes, that is absolutely the smartest thing to do.
Yeah. But as for like the trolley, I mean, I did think that part of the movie was stupid. Let me cure all these guys before we send them back. No, just send them back. They're not your problem. Who gives a shit?
Not only are they not your problem, they're there in your universe because of your mistake. Right. They were never meant to be here.
Exactly.
Sending them back in the exact way that they came is, in my opinion, your more moral duty. Like, let's pretend like this never happened. Just get you back where you came from because you're not supposed to be here in the first place.
And not even just that. He's sending Doc Ock back to a universe where he's dead. And Sam is Osborn, but now they're no longer dead and they're cured.
I think it was like they got ripped out at the moment that they were getting ready to die.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Exactly. Carlos would know. It's like his favorite movie in the world. Carlos? Trolley, go.
Here's the other problem with Spider-Man No Way Home. Now, when Peter asked Doctor Strange for his magic spell, He wanted everybody to forget Peter Parker. He wanted everybody to forget Peter Parker. But nobody forgot Peter Parker. And that's why the timeline was cracking and these people were coming in. You saw them in the sky. They were coming in because they were all going after Peter Parker. Well, they were going after 3 Peters because they're all Peter Parker. And all these villains came from their worlds. So they know who he was. And they were coming in through this crack in the timeline. Now, at the end, Peter tells Doctor Strange, just do the original spell. Make everybody forget Peter Parker. Well, guess what, Peter? You just fucked Peter and Peter's lives as well. Because everyone forgot who they are now. Because the only reason they stopped coming through the cracks is because everybody forgot who Peter Parker was. So that means your 2 buddies, when they go back, will also be forgotten. Thanks, buddy. So he sacrificed everybody to save himself. He was riding the trolley all by himself at that point. So it's just one big mess after another. And it's all because he was just a little bit selfish. Now, at the end, he could have just went to Doctor Strange after everybody forgot, hey, Doc, thank you, and pull his mask off. I'm Peter Parker, da-da-da-da. That could have started the whole ball rolling again. But anyway, that whole movie is just a big ball of mess. Not the movie itself. It's a great movie. It's a lovely movie. But I mean, just the effects. It just starts the whole effect over and over again, right, Laura?
Yes, and it's the multiverse. It's just like it's a web of lies. Like it's hard to untangle exactly what's going to happen and what's not going to happen. It's like, what are the writers going to focus on, because nobody actually knows how a multiverse works, and so you can just kind of pick and choose, what threads you follow or what threads you don't, which is probably why I'm less invested in this new
Sorcerer
saga.
Supreme knows how to timeline work.
So
works.
what?
So does Bruce Banner.
After you watched all these
Or
Marvel
David Banner.
movies,
David,
what was your biggest takeaways?
Ian Clark.
David,
Yeah,
Bruce,
we know that already. We know Ian Clark.
What was my biggest takeaway? Tony. Like his arc is
It is the best of all.
it's the fucking best. He is
Yeah.
the alpha and the omega of that entire series. He's the beginning and he is the end. He starts the whole thing, and his journey, from being this total asshole to being somebody like Atlas with the whole world on his shoulders. And Iron Man 3, that's like, actually, that's, it's not my favorite, but that's the kicker. I don't like Iron Man 3 because there's so many things wrong with it. But there are
Same here.
so many things, huh?
Same here. Same here.
Yeah, but there are so many things that are good about it. And the best things about it in my eyes is Tony's mental state in Iron Man 3. Like you see how much all of this has taken a toll on him. Like he knows that he is responsible for everything that's going on, and all of this, the world's collapsing and, aliens coming in. Like he is the key, and he knows that he's the only one that can stop it. And that takes a big toll on someone. And so in the end, when he sacrifices himself, like it's just this beautiful arc, of him and his journey, and Atlas with the world on his shoulders. You feel for him.
Go. So
go ahead.
The whole series that's out now with Sam Jackson is based, it's part of Captain Marvel
it is.
universe.
It's part of
and
Captain Marvel universe.
It's like you pick the worst movie to fucking like do a spin-off on. So like I didn't give a shit about the Skrulls, and now like they're doing a whole series.
Yeah, but that's the big lead up to the new Secret Wars movie coming out, Avengers. So
give a shit about that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, the Avengers versus the Skrulls. That's a big deal, baby.
Mm-hmm. Who's who?
Fucking nerds.
Yeah. Talking.
Anyways, my trolley thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was like, nobody actually answered the trolley problem.
I really enjoyed that clip that you sent from
that was good.
The Good Place.
The Good
Have you guys ever seen that show? You should watch
have,
it.
yeah.
It's amazing.
I've never seen it.
Yeah.
So.
Watch it.
It looks good, but I mean that clip itself, it really surprised me how gory it was. And he was like, "There's somebody in my mouth." It while I was watching that clip, it like pretty much answered questions too. It's like, all right, I'm gonna kill one less people. Oh, now what if you know that person? Well, shit. Like, yeah, obviously, to have 5 deaths on your conscience as opposed to 1, but then if it's 5 fucking homeless people as opposed to like my best friend, like, yeah, I'm gonna pull that lever, or I'm not gonna pull the lever, and it's gonna be a stinky accident. So,
What if the 5 homeless people are 5 veterans?
Oh,
See, this is the thing. You can
No.
get really granular.
They're all
with it.
wearing dirty
What?
ass
No,
like Space Force caps.
there's a good chance they are veterans too, because they're homeless. Yeah.
Set up. Fuck those dudes.
Mhm.
No, I mean, they were probably discharged. Yeah, I need to see some paperwork.
How about 5 orphans? You don't know them though.
That's okay. So that's
Are they still in the orphanage age, or are they like 18?
They're
They're
all
not.
8
No,
years
they're
old.
not even adopted yet. They're all like
they're not
6,
adopted.
7,
They're all
8.
8 years old, 6, 7 years old.
Oh, and
They
they're just
wandered
like
onto the
playing
trolley.
merry-go-round. They're all dirty
Yeah.
and like a typical orphan, right? Just fucking
Yeah.
dirty as hell.
Yeah, like Annie. Just think of Annie.
They all
Little
look like-
redheads.
Yeah, they
okay,
look like
and
pen
who's
pal.
the one
Singing
person?
songs.
Who's
The
the
one
one person?
person
Dee
is
Dee.
your wife.
Dee Dee.
Yeah.
Oof.
Dee Dee.
your wife. That's
I'm
not
pulling
it.
that lever.
Who the hell's Dee Dee?
Dee
Yeah,
Dee.
who's Dee Dee?
His dog.
It's
Oh.
BD, you stupid fuck.
Petey.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Beady.
Petey.
Like Beady.
You don't
Beady,
even
bum,
know the
bum.
name of his dog.
Beady, 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 beady.
No,
So much like I'd pull the lever if his dog was on the other track. Believe you me. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
dog
wrong with
first.
my dog, other than your fucking dog, Cujo. Or no, Chico. That
Chico.
motherfucker bit me
Oh,
so many times.
Chico.
Fuck that
Yeah.
motherfucker.
Well, you say that now because he's no longer here. What you
Yeah,
say,
I-
brave guy.
I talk a
Brave
big
guy.
game now, but back then I was scared as fuck. I'm like, hey, that chain don't look tough enough, man.
All
You
right,
need
look,
to pull that chain.
look, man, you get 5 orphans or your wife. Who you picking? And remember, one of those orphans cures cancer in the future.
What does
How
my
do you know
wife
this?
do?
That's a
What
really
wait,
hard
wait,
one.
What does my wife do in the future?
Because
Does she make me a
my-
sandwich finally?
Yeah,
Does
she
she
does.
fucking-
Vacuums.
Does she finally
vacuums.
cleans up
Finally.
the house?
She finally learns how to
My-
plug the vacuum in.
Wait a
My-
second.
Step at a
You
time.
telling me I can be single? Shit.
Yeah.
I'm pulling that lever, dog.
I will always prioritize my personal relationships and children over any number of strangers. But when you come into like, oh, a bunch of children and my husband, that's a really hard call. And I don't want to make that call.
Does your husband know this?
Yes. And he would want me to pull, I guarantee you, if he were to answer this
Pull the
question,
trigger?
he'd say, kill me and save the kids. I guarantee you that is what he would say.
I'm just
And-
picturing him doing it like Arnold. Kill me now. I'm here.
Yeah.
He
Pull the
would.
lever.
That's the kind
the
of guy that he
trolley.
is. And so that would be a hard one for me. But I love the trolley problems because you guys have the exact right mindset as you try to complicate it, with strangers versus innocence versus numbers. Like
I mean,
it all
yeah,
gets
you-
very hazy.
You have a lot of deaths on your conscience. I mean, do you have one or 5? And then what happens in the aftermath? Do you hear all their stories and this and that? Like, what if the person you just saved is a fucking,
Pedophile.
pedophile? He's
Yeah.
on the Megan's Law website. Like,
Yeah. And that's why I default to non-involvement. And just like, I'm not touching shit unless it's children or someone that I'm personally
second.
invested
So
in.
you just
Because-
walk to the back of the trolley and just
Yeah.
let it do its
What do you
thing?
do? You
Yeah.
jump
Walk
off
to
the
the
trolley,
back.
do a
No,
tumble roll,
yeah,
get
exactly.
up and walk away.
I ain't touching
what
any of
I
these
would
levers.
do-
pull out a newspaper. I don't see this.
I would do if I were Peter Parker, which is like, it's not my choice to make. I'm not God. Like, this is what it is. The trolley is going, the lever is there. I don't feel compelled to intervene unless it's children, which is to say that, like, as an adult, I have a duty to protect and look after them. Like, that is my human duty. Or 2, I have a personal relationship to the individuals on the trolley or on the track, which again is my human duty. This is my tribe. These are the people that I look after.
The
Otherwise,
Flash.
it's not up
I
to
got
me.
Right.
I got one
The
for
Flash. Yeah.
you. Homeless dude.
Mhm.
Track 1.
Okay.
Track 2 is baby.
Mm-hmm.
Baby Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter. I
A
kill
little
them.
mustache.
I'm sorry. I I kill the homeless person.
He's just waving to me.
Now the
Or
homeless
actually,
person.
you know what?
Over
No,
here.
in
Over
in
here.
that thing, it's just like hands off. Like maybe some like godly intervention will come and pull the lever. You know what I mean? Like it's just not up for
So
me.
I
to
know it's
decide.
baby Hitler though. Like I know this, right?
He's got like a little name tag, Adolf Hitler.
Yeah. No, I'm running. Yeah, no, I'm running him over.
A little khaki outfit.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna have to go with the baby, the homeless guy. I don't know his background.
All right, what if the homeless dude is okay? It's not the homeless dude. It's the guy who created COVID. Guy created COVID.
Ian
baby
Clark?
Okay,
Hitler.
so it's Ian Clark or Fauci. I don't know which one you want to choose.
Wait,
Oh,
is
my
this like
bad.
a time? This
It's
is
like-
a time scenario.
It's like
so
a ping wong chong from the lab.
then we're all
did it?
messing around with the flow
Just
of
fucking eating
time.
bat soup.
Yeah. Is it Randy Marsh fucking Mickey Mouse? Son of a bitch.
Again, not going to intervene. It's not time is not my thing to meddle with.
I mean, it's
Things
just wanna
happen
jump
as
off
they
the
it's not
trolley.
for
happen.
Let
everybody,
someone
right? You're not
stop.
you're not
Yeah.
the person who would jump into it and break up a fight or anything like that. I mean, it's just
Again, unless it's children or people that I'm invested in. Otherwise,
yeah.
y'all,
I mean,
y'all do
everyone's
you. I'll be over here.
no, and
you-
it's not for everybody, right? Like, because I've broken up many of fights, like not even before I became a cop, and it's the right thing to do. Has always been pretty clear to me, you know. If somebody gives me too much change back, you know, I'm gonna make sure that they're aware of it. Hey, man, you gave me $5 extra, that type of thing. I'll preface that by like saying if it's before payday, I'm not quite sure because times are rough. But you know, it's always been easy for me to sacrifice that part. Just like being in the military or being a police officer, that sacrifice is pretty easy for me to make. So, you know, the trolley thing, I get it, or even the Spider-Man thing, but I kind of side with Peter Parker. His choice is to send all these people back home to their deaths, or maybe like try and prevent it. And you know, it's something that May encouraged him to do. She was proud of him, even though she died. So I'm for Peter Parker on this one. Even though he messed it up in the beginning by being an annoying kid. Oh no, how about this? And then make MJ think that my dick is the biggest in the world, and then do this. Like he had all these stipulations and he fucked everything up. So it was his fault. It was Doctor Strange's fault too, for appeasing to Peter during all that shit. But then Peter wanted to make it right. So that for me, that I'm the opposite. It's an easy call. I'm gonna sacrifice. I'm gonna try and make things right. So
And
that's just
Lafayette,
me.
this is why we thank him for his service.
For what? For being a puss? Screw
No.
that shit.
For
Save
being
people.
being a good person.
I just go up to my fat best friend and my not so hot girlfriend that people think is hot and be like, "Yo, you didn't get to school? Sucks for you. I'm Spider-Man."
I feel like in like a big dilemma now for me is Lafayette's
the
on one
Avengers.
track.
Yeah.
Lafayette's on one track and then Baby Hitler's on the other track. I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh, man.
That's a tough one.
Ooh.
Can I
How
make
do
you
I-
jump the track after?
How
hit
do I
Lafayette?
kill both? Maybe I'll just let the trolley hit Lafayette and I'll just beat the shit out of Baby Hitler. Like
Smack some sense into his ass.
Or you hit Lafayette, you hit him so hard his head pops off and
It
kills Baby
hits
Hitler.
Baby
He
Hitler.
shoots off and kills Baby Hitler.
if I can calculate the speed correctly.
How about
Just
you adopt
simple
Baby
math.
Hitler
Miles per hour.
afterwards? All right. Well, there you go. So trolley problem. There you go, everyone. This is a current event. You guys ready for the trolley problem current event? Current event trolley problem edition.
Ooh,
One
what is it?
side is affirmative action. The other side
Oh.
is student loan debt. Which one are we running over?
Student loan debt.
Okay, there we go. Student loan debt.
Maybe that's because I owe a couple bucks.
I paid mine off. I'm neither colored in any variety.
You can't keep on
or-
leaving the trolley alone.
Yeah, I have no skin in this game. I choose inaction as usual.
I'm gonna have to like give you a trolley when you can't avoid it. It just doesn't matter. You can't avoid it.
Like I said, unless it's a kid or somebody I know,
One's a zombie.
hands off.
Okay, but it's a
Zombie
zombie
kid?
kid. Yep, it's a zombie kid.
Oh, well then kill the zombie. The zombie's already dead. Again, nature has already taken its
But the
course.
other side is Hitler. So
That's all you got, huh?
Hitler and Ian Clark just tied up, making bad decisions.
Tied up together.
No matter
Dilemmas.
what you say, just throw Hitler on the other side. It could be anything. It's fucking anything.
There's that great clip of on The Office where Michael Clark.
Michael Scott.
Ian Clark?
Michael Scott. I was like, Michael Clark Duncan? No, that's not right. Michael Scott, he's talking about Toby because he hates Toby. He's like, if I had a bullet or a gun with 2 bullets and I had Bin Laden and then Saddam Hussein and Toby, I'd shoot Toby twice. And everyone's like, whoa. Okay. How about if I do this? And
I mean,
I saw a bit of a trolley dilemma. Is that what it's called? Trolley problem? Trolley whatever.
Trolley problem.
On Twitter, there's a video. It showed a man in the middle of the street beating up a prostitute. This person was nude. The prostitute was nude, and this man was just beating on him, hitting this person in the knee, kneeing, punching. And all of a sudden, these 2 guys decide we need to break this up. It's ridiculous. As they get closer, for some reason, you can't tell why right away. One of them runs away to the side. The other guy just backs up and just lets it continue. I'm like, well, that was kind of weird. Why did they do that for? Then you see why. This man's got a dong. This prostitute is a man.
Yeah.
And so they decided not to help because of that situation.
That's it's still a naked person that's being beat in this street. It doesn't
look like a woman because the man had breasts.
Yeah.
Right? So all you saw was this nude person until they stood up or was
that's
dragged
what they're
up.
talking about when they talk about transgender violence. That's it. Yo.
I will say that all the fights that I've broken up, everyone was clothed. So I haven't had to really make any big decisions like that. But if I saw a big wiener out there, it might change things.
Well, if you saw a man beating the shit out of a naked man, a clothed man beating the shit out of a naked man.
If I saw anyone that was clearly losing and then like the other person unnecessarily throwing in extra blows, I would jump in for sure.
Yeah. That
Remind me of sleepaway camp. All right. Trolley problem.
What sleepaway camp did you go to?
Oh, Carlos knows that movie.
That was a trick.
Right, Carlos, you know the movie Sleepaway Camp.
The crying game trick is what that was.
The very end of Sleepaway Camp's crying game, way before the crying game.
When she has a penis.
Hey, whoa. Spoiler alert. Come on.
Is that every man is afraid of with the train? Is that what every man is afraid of? Like, is that they go to have sex with a woman and surprise, there's a penis? Like, is that what everyone is just like fucking terrified of?
I don't think it's terrified. I think it's being lied to. You're being lied to.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No.
I mean, no.
So if you pick up a woman in the bar, you think it's a woman, she got breasts, your cleavage is showing or whatever, and you get home and you find out it's a man. Are you gonna be mad? Are you gonna be like, fuck it, it's Wednesday night. I ain't got shit else to do. Podcast is over.
She would be mad. I think that's fair to be mad. Because I mean, like you said, you've been lied to. But like, again, is that an onus for violence, or I don't know. That's just like, because if I were to take a man home at the bar,
and you don't get that.
I'm not saying I would beat this person up, but kindly show them the door. There's a door.
Yeah, that would be the thing to do. It's like, okay, not cool.
Thank you.
This is not what I was into. Goodbye.
How much to keep you quiet? Come back in. Come back in.
Go round back.
Don't say that.
Don't let nobody see you leave.
Don't say that.
That's funny though. The surprising part. You have a dick. What if the dick?
I mean, honestly, like if I were at a bar and I took home a guy that I thought was a hot guy, and then there was a vagina, I would just be like, okay, well, breaks on all sexual encounters, but now I just want to ask you so many questions. Like,
Trolley problem number one.
like, let's just table this sex thing and let's just both sit down with a drink. Tell me your life story. I want to hear all about it.
I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you.
Should I drink?
If you start kissing from the top and making your way down, and then surprise, there's gonna be all kinds of crazy emotions. Like
There will be.
you just have to. You could just perhaps like if it's bigger than mine. Like whoa.
Oh,
You were going to go behind me?
You almost put my eye out. What's wrong with you?
Chinese take is like impressive.
Yeah. I'm like the tip
Can I take a
is
selfie with it?
proportionate to the shaft. No, I mean you just have to be able to reel in those emotions. Like there can be an initial like punch in the gut, and you're still not like a bad person. You're just shocked. But if the beating continues and continues and continues, it's like, all right, well, now there's obvious other reasons. It's not the whole being lied to. Like, Carlos, you look nice today. Like, I fucking lied to you again. Like, you're not that upset. So, like, it's not being lied to. It's being lied to and surprised like that. Like, you let it get to that point where, you know, I almost put that in my mouth and like,
Wait,
you gotta warn me. I'm just saying when you start kissing from the top and then going down.
Yeah.
You're gonna put something in your mouth, right? That's the goal.
Wait, what?
No, I'm completely
Whatever.
on board
His
with what he's
Instinct is
saying.
when you go
Obstacle.
down there, whatever's down there
hit
is
a
going in my
certain
mouth.
obstacle at a certain
Yes, that 100%. That's the spirit.
Or if
Whatever.
it was going in your hand, it was going somewhere. You discovered it
But
somehow.
that's different. If your
It's
hand
either
goes
going
down
in your
there
mouth or your
first,
hand.
your
No,
hand goes
I
down
mean,
there first,
like-
whoa, what's going on here?
Hey, maybe
No,
he's
that's
a
a good move.
bold
Though.
oral
You
explorer.
You probably should.
Start with a hand.
Yeah,
Feel
start with
things
the hand.
out a little bit.
Yeah, feel
a
things
little
out.
bit. Yeah. There you go, Johnny.
tip
You
Not
do
just
that.
get right to the
sniff
saki
test and you get out with
saki.
your hand.
You're at the bar. What do you
This
want
took
to
a
do?
turn.
Whatever.
What
it
was
is,
your
what-
name again? Nom, 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 nom.
I could just put you at the bar. Want to go back to my place? He's like, yeah. What do you like to do? Doesn't matter. I'll suck it.
Huh.
Something's
I'll be
going in my
honest with
mouth
you.
At the end of the night.
I've never had
Worry
a
about it.
conversation like that. And then regardless of what's down there, I'm probably sucking it. Like if that person is that down to fuck me, all right. Like that's an ego boost. Like that's like someone saying I look like Antonio Sabato Jr. I'm like, you hang on to these memories, guys.
Okay, trolley problem. The person that told you look like Antonio Sabato. Or your
Okay.
wife.
He's cracking himself up. He can't even get it out.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yeah, I do. My wife has never called me that.
Exactly.
Pull the
wife might as
lever.
well be- your wife
Pull
might
the
as well be
fucking
Hitler.
lever. I want someone blind as fuck.
Too good. Well, there you go, Laura. Look what you did. Look what you did.
I like
trolley
it.
problem.
I'm here for it.
Trolley problem. And The Good Place, starring forgot his name.
Ted
Kristen
Danson.
Bell,
Ted
Ted
Danson.
Danson,
Ted
and
Danson.
somebody with a really long name. I don't
Ted
know.
Danson has been, it seems like, a million shows
Yeah.
since Cheers. It's just
It's a great one.
yeah. Cheers?
Look,
Is
The
it
Good
still
Place.
going?
No, it's
No,
over.
it's done.
Here's no, it ended a while ago.
Yeah, Cheers ended
Oh,
way
what
back
happened?
with Woody Harrelson.
You'll
and-
have to watch and find out.
Oh, they sold the bar. I think Sam just sells the bar.
Yeah.
there
he
you
sells
go.
the bar.
He doesn't
Yes, he
sell the
sells
bar.
He does
sells
sell
the
the bar.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah,
He
he
says
does.
we're closed, and then that was it. Like
That is true.
Oh, that's right. It shows people coming down the stairs. and
That's
then
right. They
turn
don't,
around
come,
and
they
go
don't
back
actually
up.
come in. Yeah, you see like a silhouette or hear them, and he's like, "We're closed." And
Just feet. You just see feet.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I remember that. I used to watch Cheers a lot. Yeah, never watched Good Place. Starring Veronica Mars.
Oh man, I love Veronica Mars.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Strong female characters, can't get enough of them.
All right, on the trolley, Veronica
Except for
Mars or
Captain
Good
Marvel,
Place.
apparently.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Hmm?
That's that's your trolley.
I have to kill one of
The
them.
Good Place or Veronica Mars. Which show has
I'll
to
kill
go?
the Good Place because Veronica Mars is a special place in my heart because I was
And-
younger when I saw it.
We finally got her to make
But
a choice.
objectively,
Oh my god,
Good Place
yeah.
is a better show. But for me personally, Veronica Mars has more emotional capital.
how was the Veronica Mars movie?
The movie was fine. The season 4 that they did.
What they
Because
came
they
back to do.
did like a Kickstarter campaign for that, and
they did the movie and it was great. I love the
Yeah,
movie. But then
because-
they brought it back, I think on Hulu or Netflix or something. They
Oh,
did like a
right. I
season
do remember
4
that.
and it was, I mean,
was
it
on
wasn't
Hulu.
bad.
Yeah.
It was just, it
I think it was
wasn't.
Hulu.
Because
Veronica
I
Mars is-
never saw
wanted
the
it to be-
show.
It's like a detective show, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, there we go.
Teenage detective. It's kind of
And
stupid,
that's
but
how our show ends with Veronica Mars. Wow. Look what we got. Thank you for your service, Veronica. Thank
Whoa,
you for your service.
whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa. You can't just be passing that out, man.
I just did.
Be selective, okay?
You're the
It's
guy
like
that said
fucking Chick-fil-A. Like,
your first-
my pleasure. Wait
your
a
first
second.
move-
You said it to that guy too.
Your first move is, to suck somebody off. So
it's bold.
True story.
that is
like
bold, right? That's bold. Anyway, that's our
I do it
show,
for
everyone.
America.
That's right. If it was Hitler, I'd bite it off, right? That's what you're probably thinking. You sick bastard.
Get a Hitler milk mustache.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was unnecessary. Edit that out, please.
No, do not. Do not edit any of this. That's the worst.
I gotta go. Hurry up.
Uh,
Wrap it up.
Anyway, that's our show, everyone. Anybody else have a trolley problem before we leave? A good one. No, everybody's like, we're good. All right. Think of some next week. We'll come up with them. There we go. All right. That's our show, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. For Johnny.
See ya.
Thank you for your service. For Laura.
Goodbye.
For Carlos.
Bye bye.
And I'm Lafayette. Thanks for tuning in. Nerds Talking the Podcast. We'll catch you next week.